there, and welcome back to DML. So obviously, we are in the middle of the Divine New Year event, and a couple of you have been wondering, how long does it actually take to finish level 10 and 12 of this event, and how many Lampions will it actually cost overall? And the answer to that is it is very expensive, and the last two levels, or the big levels, which are level 10 and 12, may cost a little bit more than maybe you were expecting. And so, to go through this today, I will be checking out the DML wiki, because I've said it before and I will say it again, but the event guide from the DML wiki is so incredibly important to be using, and plus it gives us the total Lampion costs for every level in the event, and so by this we can work out exactly how many days it's going to take minimum overall, basically. So if you take a look at the level table here, you'll probably be looking at the minimum Lampion and maximum Lampion sections and being like, 33,000 is the minimum amount it takes to finish the level? 33,000 sounds like an awful lot, and overall it kind of is, but 84,000 being the maximum amount of Lampions it takes to finish off level 12 is kind of insane. And then level 10 is 20,000 minimum and 46,000 maximum to finish off the levels. But what does this actually mean in terms of how many days it's going to take for each of these levels? Well, I've done a little bit of quick maths, and you've got to remember that the further on in the event you go, the more points you're allowed to get per reset. So on level 10 you'll be getting 500 per task, and on level 12 you'll be getting 600 per task. So if you can get 600 per task, you can get a maximum of 3,600 Lampions every 6 hours, which means that in a day, that would be 3,600 times 4, which is 14,400 per day. And again, that is assuming you get every breed quest fully depleted, which doesn't normally happen unless you have a ton of gems, but we'll just assume that that is the amount you'll be getting for the sake of it. And so then, obviously 14,400 by 2, which would be 2 days worth of resets, would be 28,000 Lampions, which means that to finish level 12, on average it will take minimum 2.5 days to finish, which is quite a long time, but it's quite similar to previous castle events and previous solo events, so it's nothing that we haven't seen before. But if you wanted to, finish the level with the maximum amount of Lampions, so this is if you're not doing it properly, you're clicking on every tile rather than going the path you should, it would take you 6 days to finish level 12. 6 days, and obviously we've only got 7 days left in the event, so if you're not progressing through the levels properly, you're not using the level maps, there's a good chance you are not going to make it through level 12. So 84,000 Lampions would take 6 days to collect. That's kind of insane. So you have to be using the DML wiki properly. Every single level now has the map for the level on it, with the price of every single tile. So you should be looking at these maps and seeing how much each direction costs, picking the best one, and also taking into account that you may not be able to do some paths depending on what elements you have. So it's very important that you use everything that is given to you on the DML Wiki's event guide. Again, I can't stress enough how good it is. And so, obviously, most people aren't up to level 10 either, so we'll say for the sake of it, level 12 takes 3 days, if you miss some points and on and off are coming into the game. And then for level 10 of the event, like I said, you'll be getting 500 points per reset, so 500 times 6 is 3,000, and so that's 3,000 every 6 hours, 3,000 times 4, so that's a day's worth. That means you can get up to 12,000 Lampions in a day at level 10. And so, The maximum amount of Lampions it takes to complete level 10 is 46,000, which means it would take 4 days to finish level 10 if you're doing it the wrong way. Or, what you can do is you can finish it in a day and a half if you are doing it the right way. Well, it's more so like 2 days-ish on average to finish level 10. So, on average, it probably takes about 5 days to complete level 10 and level 12 combined. Which is why, realistically, if you want a good chance at completing the Divine New Year event, you need to be moving on from level 8 within the next day. So you can see I am currently on level 8 as well, and I have 3 chests left to open on level 8. Again, I am slightly behind where I should be here, but you need to be finishing level 8 within the next day or so to have a good chance of completing this event. And plus, we do have level 9 and level 11, but obviously those are the short levels and they don't cost a whole lot to complete. But it is so important that you do level 12 properly, because otherwise that is the difference between it taking 2.5 to 6 days. And so you don't want to miss out on the Nezha, and you especially don't want to miss out on the Tai Zenrin if you can help it. So, you know, I hope this sort of put it into perspective and gave you a good idea of whether you think you'll be able to complete the event or not. Don't think that these numbers are too scary, as long as you're doing everything that you can. Again, we just got a new reset, so as long as you are depleting all of your resets as much as you can, you know, just give it your best shot. Don't panic too much. Obviously, the events are made to be quite difficult, more so for like veteran players and younger players alike. So, you know, just try and focus on doing the event properly, and you should be good to go. But you know, for now, that's enough event talk. I've been talking about the event, like, pretty much in the last 4 videos straight, apart from the breeding guide video. But, you know, some people always end up saying these events are paid to win. You can't beat them without paying. It's just not true. If you even bother to go through and do a little bit of quick maths like I did just then, it's not exactly difficult to see that the events are nowhere even close to pay to win. They just require you to be coming back to your game pretty often. And, you know, to someone that hasn't played the game all too much, you know, 80,000 can seem like a scary, scary number. But, again, the maximum amount that it costs only takes into account if you click on every single tile in the level, and you have to skip every single fight as well. So, you know, don't be too frightened. Don't be too frightened at the end of the day. And are all these dragons like level 30 that we're about to go and fight here? Let's hope so, because I actually want to do an Enchantment League fight, but apparently everyone has level 80s in their squad. You know, I at least expect like one guy to not have level 80s in his team every now and then, but you know, I am still pretty high in the Enchantment League, despite all my defenders being like level 40 max. So I'm not sure what the dealio is. Apparently he just wants me to permanently be a highish rating. Which, you know, I guess fair enough. But, you know, let me know what you think about those event costs as well, because apparently it's very slightly higher than last time, although that's just what I've heard. I haven't actually compared it to the previous Divine event. But I don't think the numbers for this event are too different from past events at all. I think they are very similar, in fact, so don't think that this event is super difficult, super duper hard, or too advanced or anything like that. It's nothing that we haven't seen before. Not impossible by any stretch either. So, you know, you're looking at quite a few days that it's going to take for all these next tiers, and I'm hoping that our RNG gets a little bit better for us, especially on our Android account. But, no, it is the way it is. If the game wants to try and screw me over and not give me the pieces I want, I mean, that's too bad and kind of sucky at the end of the day, but, you know, even with bad RNG, it's still possible to finish the event. You just gotta keep going. Not give up hope, and, you know, do every single fight that you can, rather than just going around them Like, I tried to do some of the level 80 fights with my level 70 dragons. I've used a couple of Dragon Fury Essence for that, but I just could not make it work. Maybe if I was allowed my Hermes dragon in those fights along with my Lantern, maybe we'd have been able to do it then. But obviously, they're not all allowed in the same fights as one another. So, it just is the way it is. But I know that at the very least we're going to get the Nezha. The tough one to get is obviously the Tai Zenron. And, I do really want the Tai. Obviously, I want every divine that we can get a hold of. So I hope and pray to the game that they are going to be kind to me and allow us to actually have that. But the only problem is at the moment our gold vault is still on cooldown for another 19 minutes, so we'll just go and collect all of our gold manually, the good old-fashioned way. Or sometimes I forget about how annoying this can be, because we have so many different habitats, and sometimes the game likes to, I don't know, click weirdly. Must be because I'm just not used to the sensitivity in-game, since my sensitivity on my actual PC feels different to my DML sense, and then this sense is different to what I play with every other game in. It's kind of weird. Kind of super weird, in fact. But, you know, we also need to feed our dragon up, so we'll go take this fire dragon out, and we'll feed up this little baby. We'll pop another fire dragon egg in here. As always, always try to have at least one low-level fire dragon that you can hatch and feed up at all times. So that will super duper help you with the feeding dragons quest. And plus, obviously when you're up to level 12, you're going to probably need 2 of them to finish it off, because not everyone can afford to level up their dragons to level 14 all the time. So, you'll need 2 of them available at all times. So, you know, just keep all of that stuff in mind. And, you know, I can't do these fights here, for example, which is kind of sucky. But I wanted to get this chest out of the way, so we'll go an extra 2 tiles up. And then it's going to be like another 1,000-ish, and then another, what is it, 600? To open the chests on level 8. So it's super duper expensive. And I do feel your pain. But, you know, for the most part, that should be more or less all that you need to know about the costs of the event. So go and check out that DML event guide page out again. And, you know, work out where you are in comparison so you can know whether you'll have a good shot at finishing the event or not. But, you know, for now, I will say goodbye. So thank you very much for listening today. And until next time, I will see you then.